Hi folks, my name is Robert Label, and I'm here to talk to you today about continuing education. Now, have you all ever heard of a three-time loser? Well, I always looked at myself as a three-time winner until back in 2004 my son Randy, who was an airborne ranger, died while serving his country. As you can imagine, myself and my family went into a deep depression. It took a long time to come out of it. But about a year ago, I was working down at the Kennedy Space Center one day, and I started re-examining my life a little bit. Felt that I wasn't living up to my full potential. So I had a decision to make of whether to accept another project with NASA or to accept VA's offer and go back and continue my education. I opted to continue my education. Obviously, I'm preaching today to the choir. All of y'all here have already shown the drive and determination it takes to continue your formal education. But what we need to think about is, what are we going to do when we graduate? Are we going to continue with our education, or do we even know what it is? Or are we just tired of school altogether and don't want to do it anymore? That's not really an option these days. To stay on the cutting edge, you need to be proactive. Now, today we need to expand on the drive and determination previously mentioned, and I'm going to issue a challenge to all of y'all to see the benefits available to you, how much easier it is to continue your education, the pitfalls for not continuing your education, and how to complete that journey of continuing education throughout life. Now first, let's get a handle on the standard definition of continuing education. I Googled this and I got swamped with millions of hits. So as I was researching it, I ran across some definitions that I thought were pretty good. This one article in WiseGeek by Diana Bracco, now she defined it as continuing education refers to any type of post-secondary education that obtains credits, certifications, or helps you to maintain your licensure. Now almost anybody can take advantage of the personal and professional enrichment that's associated with continuing education. That was another point that she made. I thought that that was rather well, but I have my own to add to that. I feel that anybody who strives to better their position can do it by simple lectures, seminars, and classes. There's no need to make it formal, just as long as you continue your education. Now, I have my own saying about this, and that's that failure to advance our education means we fail ourselves. Is failure an option? As I've stated before, no, it really isn't. Now, just released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics is some interesting facts and figures. College graduates today make 15% more than those with just some college. They make 40% more than those with just a high school education, and 50% more than those that dropped out of school. Now, those are some staggering statistics. In the last decade, we've got new statistics that are just now available from the U.S. Department of Education. Now, those who went on to college, of those, 49% achieved a certification or a degree. 15% in the last decade are still in college trying to get their degrees. And 36% dropped out and left college altogether. Now, none of us want to be those. Now, I read another article with some interesting statistics by David Wetzel from Suite 101. And he said that 600,000 people a year drop out of college. Once again, we don't want you to be one of those. Now on to our first visual aid. I want to show you about some average earnings by education level. Over here, our average weekly salary for a dropout is only $450. The mean average in the United States is those with associate's degree at $800. Those with PhDs, $1,500 and more. Now that is quite a big difference in pay levels. So, seeing this need, we need to meet our goals, but we need to know who to talk to and how to go about this. First, we need to help ourselves. We either need to go the traditional route or we need to take advantage of online. We need to pound the pavement and beat our feet. We need to work into the wee hours of the morning and apply all we can online. Either way, we can also check employers. Employers nowadays often pay for a lot of continuing education for their employees. This gains loyalty, helps the employees out, and makes for a better company all around. Now, the government also has assistance, and through the traditional ways of awards, loans, and scholarships, but with the stimulus package, it's easier now than ever before. All this new legislation advantaged me as well. Now, in my situation, I went through the VA. Now, with all these new twists and all this new stuff and all these new advantages that we're not usually used to thinking about, we may have not previously considered a lot of these. In my case, before Randy passed away, I was a disabled vet and I was on disability, but I wasn't thinking about any kind of change. But I re-examined my priorities and my dreams and my expectations and decided that I needed to make a change. No one ever said I had to be just one thing in life. So I resolved to make my son and my family prouder of me than they had ever been before. And I also found out VA would give me a stipend to help take care of me while I was going to school. A lot of the other programs do this as well. It's not just the VA. Employers do this as well as the government. Always, people, go for it. Set an example for your friends and your family and make your children proud of you. Think about how they're going to get when they're older. Are they going to be able to pass on and take your love of education and make it their own? Are they going to understand what you're doing now? Are you going to pass on your can-do attitude to them? Let them be infected with your love of continuing education. It can be fun, and it should be contagious. I'd like to review real quick. Here's some of the benefits that we've talked about. Education can pay, not just with stipends and such, but with higher earnings when you get out, better benefits, and the respect and pride of your peers and family. Now, I hope that I've been able to give all of you today a little more to believe in and a little bit more to be convinced by to continue your education. I want you to keep this in mind for your futures, and I'll leave you today with this challenge. Before you graduate Kaiser University and go on to your jobs, I say plan for tomorrow. Resolve to stay on the cutting edge and be proactive about all this. Put your plan into action before you graduate. Plan what you're going to do and how you're going to continue your education so that you're always on the top of your field, never the one that gets laid off or unemployed. You need to do this for yourself and for your loved ones. I've made that change. I hope you do too. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Robert Label. My audience, please. Thank you very much, folks.